anywhere to go. Within this podcast, we will discuss background information about the Californian wildfires and what the causes are. Californian real estate was booming just before the wildfires, and over 1,000 residents, regardless of the fires. The real estate industry was still up and going, and the houses were being sold. But has still been affected, as the properties that would have been sold are nothing but ash. First off, the main cause of these forest fires is a dry and humid weather. We have been having due to climate change. More than 3.2 million acres have been burnt in California, let alone, and there have been also many other factors such as human activities, accidental causes such as cigarettes, burn-offs, and campfires. One specific human activity was a gender reveal party, and they let off a. Let me go back a little bit. They let off a family was using a smoke-generated pyrotechnic device for a gender reveal in the forest. So the leaves got caught on fire and caused the whole area to burn down. It was a boy. More than I said that already. The main concern is what we can do afterwards. So there are some places we can donate towards, such as American Red Cross, or towards like a firefighter foundation, because so we found out the gender. We can donate to the American Red Cross in providing efforts to help those who lost their homes and provide supplies to the firefighters, risking their lives on a daily basis. You can go.
All right, so one other question. One of the most dramatic things that happened there was the tragedy with the environment there and the animals. So from 10,000 to 1 million, make a guess on how many animals were infected in the area in Australia alone. Just write a random number over 10,000. That's a good one.
That's a good guess. 69, 69,000. 13,000. That's a good guess, Johnny. So what is the answer, Elijah?
So overall, in just the 2020 fires in Australia, about 143 million mammals, 2.46 billion reptiles, 180 million birds, and 51 million frogs were affected by either smoke inhalation, burning to death, displacement. A lot of animals fled the area because of the fires, the extreme heat, and the smoke, which led to a lot of areas with endangered species and plants being burned away. So not only are the animals not there anymore, but their ecosystem that they can live in is no longer there either. So it's going to be really hard to get them back in the area and complete the biodiversity. One thing that this has led to is a lot of the endangered animals are actually becoming more endangered, such as koala bears. In 2000, they were put on the threatened list, and now they are one of the most endangered species in Australia, besides the Tasmanian devil.
Some other key information to know about for the bushfires is that, unquote, the vast majority of the bushfires in southeastern Australia are caused by humans. Why does it keep doing that? A new study suggests that 47% accidental, which are the cigarettes, the burn-offs, campfires, sparks from machinery, power lines, and those are the 40% deliberately lit. So people have been charged for arson as well, because they tend to go to the areas that have the dry leaves and all that and deliberately light them on fire.
With these fires came the burning of around 46 million acres of forest, which also held around 115 plants and animals that were on the endangered list, which is even less now because a lot of those plants were burned and totally destroyed, while a lot of the species that were still alive in those areas are either in different areas and unknown or are totally gone now. Let's see. And that's just in Australia. In California, they've seen a lot of problems, mostly not for animals, but their economy and their ecosystem, as a lot of California is filled with places like vineyards and other areas that are used for agriculture.
Yep.
So overall, this devastated nearly 300,000 acres and displaced any animals they had in the area, usually mountain lions, forms of birds, frogs, etc. But they're no longer there, and it's going to be really hard to get it back. Not only that, but in 2020 with the fires, it's led to, it's been talked about that it's going to take nearly decades, if not to rebuild the economical standpoint that they were at, with all the houses burning and a lot of people getting out of the area. But not only that, it's what's it called?
Still pretty devastating.
Yeah, it's devastating. Not only that too, it's everything there was in a drought-like condition too. So every year it's just gonna keep getting worse because
the climate keeps changing.
And both California and Australia lack water, so they don't get very much precipitation per year. So in that time, everything turns drought-like, and it causes more spontaneous fires.
Right. There have also been a lot of legislation towards the wildfires, as you can hear in like the recent news. Trump was very more skeptical about doing anything with California in specific, and I've heard on the news that California was planning on suing the Trump administration for the lack of support, and on top of other environmental issues caused by his administration. So yeah, that's pretty much, Trump didn't really help with the California wildfires. And then the housing has been diminished, and the government is just underlying the help towards the causes, or what am I trying to think of? It's like they're not really helping out with the relief programs.
And also Trump and the administration was trying to, they were just like backlashing laws, and they weren't supporting laws that were already in motion, so they weren't really following the rules or legislation for them either. But that caused a lot more of a panic for them, because it was just leading to things getting worse and worse in those areas.
So this is where we're planning on cutting off this podcast and Instagram Live, but we would like one last audience participation. And the question is, what are the key takeaways that you guys have learned from the forest fires throughout the years? And what can